Sniffy Joe will waive mortgages. You heard it here first, my friends. So let's listen to my man Dave Cullen talk about a soon to be voted on and most likely passed referendum in Ireland. Dave Cullen at computingforever.com. Subscribe to his website and his BitChute channel, computingforever.com. Anyway, he says there's a referendum coming in Ireland next year, probably. A right to house, a right to a home. And it's freaking evil, man. It's from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. It's pure Marxist crap. And as for residents of Ireland to be able to afford a home is a human right, not citizens of Ireland, mind you. Residents. Who's a resident of Ireland? Anyone who makes it to the country, to include all these Ukrainian passport holders. Many of which are not Ukrainians, by the way. But hey, we got to do our share, right? It's such a scam. You can see this a mile away. The idea that Putin, who's a young global leader, wasn't part of this? Silly, man. You can see Putin's part of this all over the place. Anyway, so right after I got done watching that video, I read an article on comparing a condo in Portland, Maine to a condo in St. Louis, Missouri. And the millennial lady writer, who I'm sure has got a degree in journalism from, freaking Wellesley or something like that, some, silly school, was griping about it. It's not fair that she can't live in Portland, Maine. She's come to the realization she'll never be able to be able to afford a home in Portland, Maine. And going over, unless she works 80 hours a week and, basically whining about it. I said, well, you could do what immigrants have done since the dawn of mankind, and that most people have done since the dawn of mankind, is move to where the cost of living is cheaper. I mean, that's what we did. We left New Jersey to come here. I mean, that's what people do there. Millennial, we'll call her Cat. Cat, yeah, a lot of millennials, they like to be called Cat, don't they? Cat. And I'm sure she got tattoos, because that's what the cool kids do. Actually, not anymore. I'm glad to see the tattoo rage. It seems like it's starting to slow down. I'm watching more and more NBA. In the NBA, less and less people have tattoos. I'm like, that's good stuff. I like to see that. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, everyone had one. Because of Dennis Rodman, by the way. Not because of AI, it's because of Dennis Rodman. AI then established it for everybody else. But Dennis Rodman is the guy who started the whole tattoo trend. It's interesting. Anyway, so going back to... So this chick is writing literally exactly what the arguments that's going to go in the referendum in Ireland is going to be. And what Dave was saying in Ireland, they're going to make it incentivized for basically grandma, who's an empty nester, who raised her 3 Irish kids in Dublin, wherever the hell they live, to downsize. Because your house, grandma, with 3 beds, 2 baths, is too much, too big for just one person. It's not environmentally correct, It's costing too much to heat and air condition. I bet they don't have air conditioning. I don't know. But it's too much. It's a stain on the environment. And according to the EU studies, you have a house that's 40% bigger than the average EU resident who's a single woman. Thus, we're not going to take your house. We just want you to incentivize you to downsize. And how they do that, of course, you can see this a mile away. And we'll give you some tax credits. Do that, the other, and then we're going to subsidize people to buy your house so they can have a place to live, a resident of Ireland, because they're trying to raise a family. All that's good. If all done voluntarily, I have no problem. Do what you got to do. I mean, I plan on downsizing for sure. But look, grandma says, no, I don't want to downsize. This is where my husband died. This is where my kids were raised. I don't want to. None of your business, which she has every right to do. Well, grandma, we're not going to tell you can't do it. We're just going to make it more and more painful. We're going to do property tax based on the number of bedrooms you have relative to the number of people. Based on the number of, you name it. In fact, Dave was saying there's actually a light tax in Ireland based on the window size. And I said, that's freaking nuts. I said, I got to look into that. That's interesting. This is how bad it can be of the taxing authorities. It's nuts. If you actually look into, there was a guy who used to write insane tax laws of the past. Was it Reason magazine? Reason has I think it was Reason YouTube channel. of various tax insanities that have gone through the United States over the time. It's crazy, man. A light tax based on the window size, crazy. Anyway, they'll do the same thing, and they'll do it popular because the voting population says, I need a house. Older people are dying off. Now, this won't happen yet with baby boomers, because baby boomers are still by far and away the biggest voting bloc there is, because there's so many of them, and they're old, all right? So baby boomers still dominate the voting capacity. Fast forward 10 years from now, I'll be in my 60s. A lot of the baby boomers will have passed on. The millennials is a big generation too, the people coming up behind me. At that point, they're gonna say, Josh, you're 60, 65, it's just you and Charlotte in here in a 3,300 square foot home. We got 4 beds, 4 baths, just you two and your dogs. You don't need that kind of house. I said, yeah, but no one can afford it. I'd sell it, but no one can afford it because all the millennials or whatever it is coming up behind me, which is a big voting bloc, no one can buy it. Oh, no, don't worry. We'll incentivize you to sell it. Buy? Oh, yeah. We're going to have the millennials who buy your home, for a fair price, of course. Fair to whom? Well, to them, not to me, because they're the voting people. We're going to waive, $100,000. We're going to subsidize the first $100,000 of mortgage, or we'll just waive it outright. Well, I had a mortgage. Yeah, well, you paid it off, man. You got the white privilege and stuff, and you made income, you could pay it off. You were lucky to have a job. I raised 4 kids. Yeah, well, still, it is what it is. You got to give back to the society, dude. Taxes are a sign of a civilized society and all that. I did pay my taxes. I paid everything. Kind of like student loans. I did pay my student loans. I actually went in the military to get help with college. Oh, yeah, but you know how it is. And they're going to look at the Joshes out there, recognize that we are dwarfed by the upcoming generations. Upcoming generations say, hell yeah, dude, let's put this sucker to a vote. No different than student loans. Now, student loans won't be a thing yet. It will be, though. We'll wipe off those student loans so old Kat has, $50,000 less of debt, which means she can take a mortgage. And as long as her mortgage is less than $200,000 or something like that, or priced as a point in terms of bedrooms per person, so you can't have 4 bedrooms, only 2 people. 2 bedrooms, 2 people is fine. We'll waive $100,000 of your mortgage. Cat's like, hell yeah. Me and Gage, my husband, Gage, you get it? The guy who tried to destroy Kyle. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say anything more than that. So we got Gage and Kat, they're married. They don't even really want kids anyway, because kids are a drain on the environmental resources we have. So Gage and Kat say, yeah, man, all right. We'll buy a house, and we'll get subsidies, and they'll get our vote. Now Josh is sitting there left to say, wait a second, though. I don't even want to sell my house to these people. I don't want to sell it anyway. I like where I live. Well, you got to downsize, man. You got to free up some equity in your home. But I don't want the government getting involved in that transaction. Oh, dude, to each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. And Gage and Kat have a deeper need than you do, because you've already used your house to raise your kids. Thus, they need it more than you do. And then Gage and Kat will say to the authorities, hey, we're going to have a couple kids too, and so we should be able to get subsidized in terms of waiving off more of our mortgage debt. You got it, man. So if you have 2 kids, a typical American household, because we need more children, we're going to incentivize you to have children by waiving your mortgage, and we'll incentivize Josh and Charlotte to sell your house to move in a smaller house. And that seems equitable, doesn't it? And if I refuse, we're not going to force you out. We're just going to make it dastardly in terms of the cost of property tax. But they'd never do that. That's the same thing with the student loan stuff, man. Same thing. If they can waive student loan stuff for elitists who took on too much debt for their stupid degree and no pushback, you tell me they can't try this on mortgages? Come on, man. Every mortgage goes through FHA to begin with, like I said. Yeah, you can see this a mile away. It's coming. It won't be for a few years until the baby boomers are behind us. Their voting capacity is lessened, but you watch it, man. My generation, we're going to get left with the bill that because these guys are raised on Marxism. Dive in deeper into what Dave was talking about, the housing is a right referendum in Ireland. It's freaking scary. All right, we'll see you.